Welcome to Channel 2S, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Gunpla -1. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and on this 7th day of Gunpla, we're going to be looking at the newest addition to my backlog, the High-Grade Build Fighters Reversible Gundam. The box art for the Reversible Gundam is actually pretty cool. I'm not big on the box art of the Build Fighters kits, but I really like what they did here. Let's see if the kit inside actually looks this good. The box felt absolutely stuffed, but there's actually not that much here. It's got 10 runners in total, and that's including both polycap sheets. Okay, let's take a look at this manual. Really nice line art. Got some story stuff. You know, I always did have the feeling that this was inspired in some way by the Aegis. Thanks to the Reborns, I know right off the bat that that is not going to be orange. So they show you how to mix all the colors here, except for the black for the stripes. I mean, I guess it's probably just supposed to be pure black, but still, I think it's hilarious that the one color they don't give you in the color guide is the only color you have to paint. Reversible Gundam. Shit. Like I've said many times before, I built the Reborns Gundam at the very start of my introduction to this hobby, and I hated it. Now, in the years since then, I did kinda suspect that a lot of my dislike of it most likely stemmed from my inexperience at the time, but even with that in mind, I've always felt a bit reluctant to give them all the second chance. So when Bandai announced this kit, I was not very into it at all, and it wasn't until very shortly after it came out that I caved in and decided to pick one up. I gotta say, I'm glad I did. Because while this kit still has problems, and believe me, it's got problems, it is nowhere near as bad as I remembered it. Right off the bat, I just want to talk about how awesome this mobile suit looks. I just love this Gundam. It's such a great looking design. It's sleek, it's regal, it's elegant, and the new parts they added for the reversible, these claw pieces on the arms, the new backpack stuff, just look great. However, I can only talk about this kit for so long before I do eventually have to get to the flaws, so let's just get them out of the way right now. Stickers. This guy has horrible, horrible, horrible stickers. I can actually sum them up pretty quickly by saying there's no black plastic on this kit and no green plastic on this kit. So anything you see that is either black or green is a sticker. Pretty much that simple. But the stickers in this kit aren't really something you have to worry too much about because, well, the black ones are just panel lines. Like, there's grooves that are sculpted into the armor panels on this kit where these stickers are, so if you want, you could do what I did with my old Reborns Gundam and just color them over the marker. And if you even try a little bit, you'll be able to make it look better than I did. One more important thing I need to talk about with this kit is balance, because as you would expect from a mobile suit with high heels, the balance can be a little hit or miss. Now, when I first built this kit, I did have a lot of trouble getting him to stand. However, there's just a few important things you have to keep in mind and you should be okay. First of all, there are multiple joints in the back of the foot here, and if you don't have them properly aligned, you might end up with the heel a bit higher than the toe like this, and that will, of course, cause problems. And beyond that, it's really just a matter of positioning his legs right, and you can actually get him to stand, pretty easily. So besides the balance, besides the color separation, there was one other big thing that really irked me about the Reborns Gundam when I first built it, and that was the articulation. He looked down, he looked up, he rotates his head just fine, you just gotta make sure you don't bump into any of the crap on his back. He's got a wiggle, hinge, up and around kind of thing going on with his shoulders. There is a bit of front to back in the shoulder, but it's kind of designed to lock some stuff in his torso, so use it with caution. Bicep rotation, a whopping 90-degree elbow bend, elbow rotation, forearm bend. Oh, thank God, something that makes sense. Torso goes back and forth. Although if my experience with the Reborns Gundam's anything to go by, this joint is going to loosen up real quick from all that backpack weight. Totally unrestricted waist rotation. Pre-separated skirts go up, 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 and believe it or not, up again. In some ways, his hips are absolutely awesome, but they're not that great all the time. This guy's from the dark and barbaric era of ball-jointed hips. Pretty great knee bend with a master grade style sliding knee armor. Now that's nice. So I remember the ankles being really bad on the original Reborns, but they actually don't seem that bad here. They go from here to here, and then from here to here. You even got a little bit of side wiggle. When it really comes down to it, and you're displaying the Reversible Gundam in mobile suit mode, you pretty much have two options. Either have him stand there all cool and imposing looking like he was earlier on, which to be fair, does work very well. It's a very regal, very imposing mobile suit. Or you do what I've done here and you put him on an action base. I did not have an action base back when I built the Reborn's Gundam, and I can confirm that it does make him a lot better. So now we've reached the part of the video where I talk about the weapons and accessories this kit has. Starting things off small, we have a pair of movable beam saber handles. They've got nice little hinge storage slots here, just like they did on the Reborn's Gundam, and you can stick them in his hands and he can pretend like he has beam sabers, because the only blade you get is this. Basically, if you want the saber to be the right color, you're going to have to paint this, and even then you only get one of them. And that's all the accessories this kit comes with. So, final thoughts on the kit. No, just kidding, we got a lot more to look at here. Let's talk about what exactly these do. The first thing you can do with this pile of parts is pull out this piece and then close it back up and flip out the little handle in here and put that in his hand, and he's got a handgun. He's also got these shields on his arm that can rotate, rotate, and rotate. And then if you really want to make things interesting, you can bring out the tentacles. Because of the way the hinges are designed here, you do have to fold away the pistol before you can bring out the tentacle, but it's worth it because these are pretty cool. They're a lot better than the ones that the Papa Guy had, or really just the Bear Guys in general. The joints are very tight, they're very easily adjustable, and they look pretty awesome. You can even open up the claw. So this kit's great. It's got some great weapons, it looks awesome, and you know what would make it even cooler? If it transformed. That's not what I was expecting. So in all seriousness, this is the actual official mobile armor mode of the Reversible Gundam. Looks pretty cool, right? How about now? Even from the side it really doesn't look that great. However, there is one redeeming feature to be found here, and that's why I didn't show the transformation on screen. This isn't really a transformation. Nothing really pegs into place. You're kind of just spinning a few things around, you're moving his legs to a different position, moving his arms to a different position, and then just fiddling with things until it looks good. Now, I personally don't think this looks good. This, on the other hand, I think looks pretty alright. This is the third mode of the Reversible Gundam, which takes more cues from the Reborn's Kanon mode of the original Reborns. I also took it a step further and swapped the arms so the shields are still on the outside. And to me, this is a definite improvement. There's a lot of moving parts on here and a lot of different weapons to mess around with. If you don't like how this form looks, if you don't like how the other form looked, just play around with it. It's a lot of fun to experiment with this kit and just see what kind of forms you can come up with. The high-grade Build Fighters Reversible Gundam definitely exceeded my expectations. I kinda knew from the get-go I'd end up enjoying it more than I did the Reborn's Gundam, but I was surprised by just how much fun the kit ended up being. Yes, it's got some problems. The color separation's hit or miss, and the articulation really isn't all that great. But this is still a really fun kit to mess around with, especially if you're a kit basher. There's a lot of great-looking pieces on this kit, and I can see just endless potential for this. Plus, it's just a great looking base body mold, so if you want to go modify this with other parts, you could probably make it look pretty awesome. On top of that, you get a lot of useful leftover pieces from the Reborn's Gundam, such as the rifle, the GN drives, and the Reborn's cannon head, and all of those parts can be added onto this if you desire for even more kit bashing options. This kit is definitely a customizer's dream. I will give only one more warning about this kit, and that is the durability of it. Right now, this model is fairly solid, but if the Reborn's Gundam is anything to go by, that won't last very long. So even though this kit's fun to mess around with, you should still treat it with care. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the 12 Days of Gunpla -1. I'll be seeing you tomorrow with the next episode, but until then, I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.